to roll.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of the Playhouse. Ooh, Season 5. Super excited to have each and every single one of you with us. First and foremost, I just want to tell you thank you for taking your time out to just give your attention to CTA. We don't take that for granted. And let me just assure you that the time that you've taken out is going to be every single second, every single minute is going to be worth it. Why? Because of the guests that we have right here. In CTA, there's some people who have been trying to get for a while, and I've come to a posture of when it's God's time, they'll come to the seat. So I am super excited about the next guest that we have here. Let me tell you, Yanni, I'm so nervous that I have two introductions for him. First and foremost, let me read the first one. Yes, I'm reading it, and then I'll do mine as well. This one, it's because I have to do him justice in terms of just what he's been able to do for the financial industry in Kenya, just so that you guys can have an understanding. Now, listen to this, guys. Pius is the founding CEO of Nabo Capital, and his passion is to connect investors to lucrative opportunities across Africa. With more than 15 years experience successfully investing in Africa, he has overseen investment transactions in excess of $500 million. Let me say that again in case you missed it. That is $500 million, and investment returns in excess of $82 million. First and foremost, that's why we need to just put some coffees to continue this. Pius was part of the dream team that founded and successfully implemented the now famous Centum 2.0 strategy that began an exciting journey of transforming Centum from a 60 million investment firm to a 700 million AUM outfit.
Dollars.
Oh, that, and AUM stands for assets under management. I'm not doing too badly. On the back end of this remarkable success, Pius led his team at Centum to spin off into an independent investment boutique, Nabo Capital, which is now managing over $200 million. Nabo Capital, just to say, is also 100% owned by Centum. Leveraging on his wide networks, he has helped reputable institutional clients from US, Europe, Asia, and Africa to acquire sizable stakes and break into top 10 shareholders list in some of the most coveted blue chips companies on the continent. Pius is a CFA charter holder and a certified public accountant. Woohoo! He also holds a Bachelor's of Commerce degree. He is also a Tutu Fellow and a certified life coach. Woo! Pius. Yanni, I have read all that because I didn't want to miss out on your financial prowess or just how much you've done in the financial world. To me, let me just also give my intro, which is to say that I think you're an amazing human being who loves God and who has done remarkable things. I have had the pleasure of working under you and working with you, and it is more than a privilege to have you on this seat. He is also very important to say this, and also just to set the tone of some of the conversations that we're going to be having today. He's also a father of 5, and recently lost his wife. In fact, I want us to start with that Pius, just to sort of set the stage. Some people may think that it is too soon for me to have you on CTA, and I may not have the proper EQ by calling you onto this platform to have a conversation. But I just want to make it clear, or I just would like to get, because you're the one who called and said, Richard, I would like to come onto this platform. Just to touch a little bit of that, then we enter into the conversation. Why is it that you felt that you need to come onto this platform, CTA, and just so that we could share and have a conversation? Why do you feel like this was the time?
Hey, first of all, Richie, it's really good to be here.
It is, eh?
It is awesome. It's amazing. And I feel this is the appointed time. I think you've said that we have tried to do this before. And I'm a believer in God's timing. No matter how much we try to do things, His time is always perfect. So I feel this is the appointed time.
Okay.
And it's also coincides with a season that I'm going through, or have been going through, having lost my wife. Sorry. Actually, I don't like using the word lost, because for we who are born again, we know where she went.
Yeah.
She was not lost. She just left. She has joined a greater glory.
Transitioned to a different place.
Transitioned. She has changed her, what do you call it?
Residential address.
Has a residential address. So sad we may be because we miss her presence, but we know where she is and we know how she lived her life. An amazing human being. And I feel this is a fantastic time to do this, because it's a season that is also coming to an end. And you need time and chance. That's what the Bible says. Time and chance happeneth to them all. So without allowing life to move too far, I felt that we could lose a lot of content, a lot of wisdom, nuggets that God may have for someone. There are things you learn in a season of pain that you can never learn any other time.
Okay.
And when that season of pain is over, you cannot be able to repeat them. So now that I've been in that season, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and they've told me, Pius, are you generalizing? You're saying so much stuff. Are you writing this stuff? But even I can't write all this stuff. And that's when I got the inspiration. You know what? Let's do this.
Okay.
And here I am.
I am honored and privileged that you would consider us or you consider myself to be able to help you narrate your story, your season and your experience. And on CTA, we take this thing from the very beginning. We can't speak about the happenings of this year without people truly understanding who this man is and the journey that he has taken. So I'm excited for us to kick this thing off from the very beginning and pass on CTA as we usually do. First and foremost, I always have to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Put your hands together for none other than Pius Muchiri. Budget me tights, even though we're the Hemingways. So I do my own sound effects. Okay, Pius, let's kick this thing from the very beginning. And I like starting this at birth. Tell me a little bit about your childhood and your upbringing. When were you born? Where were you born? What number are you in the family? Let's kick it off there.
So, in fact, strange enough, when I was coming here, I was talking to my mom. And she went back to the day I was born. I was born on 11th of August, 1977. So 77 is a key number. Number 7 is a key number in my life. And we'll see that as we proceed. But one thing she said is that, I almost died at birth. I was a miracle child. In fact, she said that she labored for 3 days. She broke her waters, and she was completely dry and wasn't coming out. She was ready to die. In fact,
what?
She was telling me she was lying on her tummy to die, both her and myself. And somehow, miraculously, on the 3rd day, I was born. On the 3rd day.
I've seen what you're doing with those numbers. On the 3rd day.
On the 3rd day. In fact, she went ahead to say, because of the circumstances under which I was born, I had such dry skin. I was like an old man.
Whoa.
It had to take months for my skin to peel off and to rejuvenate. So I was a miracle child. That much I can tell you. And then she decides to call me Pius. And I was asking, why did you call me Pius? And she told me her desire, her entire life was to serve God. In fact, she wanted to become a nun. Until she met one handsome guy.
I'm confused.
Stephen Muchiri Mugo, who swept her off her feet.
Yes.
And so I'm the firstborn in our family. And that thought was there at that point. Hey, you know what? I really wanted to become a nun. So how do I how do I do this? And she decided to give me a name from one of the popes, Saint Pius. So I was called Pius. And so over the years, as I've gotten to know God, and I've gotten to know the significance of names, how we name children.
Yep.
I was very keen to know what's the significance of my name. And I was very surprised that my name means willing servant of God.
What?
That was so, and when I just saw that meaning, I understood my life. I understood why God has never been I have never been there without you mentioning God.
Yes.
It's always been God and I, God and I, God and I, even before I was born again.
It's crazy when you've told me the meaning of your name.
Yes.
That's the person I know.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. And especially, and we'll talk about this later on, especially in your industry, I was like, can those two things really go together? Okay, let's talk about where were you born? Were you born in Nairobi? Were you born?
Hey, I was born in Pumwani, my friend.
After 3 days.
All the guys who were born in Pumwani.
Yes.
When Pumwani was Pumwani.
Okay.
That was the best maternity hospital in Nairobi.
Oh.
Then.
Okay.
And in fact, she says, as long as you are firstborn, because of the complications that firstborns tend to come with, Pumwani was like a default place for you to be born. So I was born in Pumwani. I was brought up in Ngara. So, I've experienced the life in Eastlands.
Yes, I get it. Okay.
Grew up most of my life in Ngara. Went to Riverbank Primary School.
First of all, how many siblings do you have?
Oh, yes. I have a sister behind me, just about 3 years behind me. Then a brother who doubles up as my brother and also like a son, because there's a almost 10-year gap between us. So I literally almost brought him up. Actually, really brought him up. I even took him to university.
Whoa.
So we have a very interesting.
You assumed the firstborn roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about me. I never really had a chance to follow anyone. I was thrown into leadership from day one, and it's been me. That has been me. And I at some point I was regretting. I mean, I see my friends. They have bigger elder brothers. If I'm fighting with anybody, I end up fighting someone plus the elder brother. Like, God, man, this is unfair, man. You should have brought me a twinnie or an elder brother.
Even me, I'm firstborn. Nakufil. We can be brothers.
In fact, in our house, those sweet bananas? Some of them come
the small
twins.
Ones.
The small, they come in twins. Nobody else could eat the twins except me, because I was like, God, I'm eating these twins because you must give me twins.
That's funny. That's hilarious. So tell me a little bit. First of all, I've not had you. Tell me a little bit about your dad.
Yes, and my dad actually very influential figure in my life. Very gentle, calm man, and very, very intelligent. Those are the first guys who went to Mangu. Actually, they're the ones who opened the current Mangu. Yes, when it was built, they're the first ones. They were the first lot to enter that Mangu High School. And he's been a very present dad.
Ah, nice.
A very present dad. Early on, when we were growing up, he was not that present, but later on he became very present, which was very important, and I will talk about it. Maybe I can't even start now.
Yeah.
So growing up in our neighborhood, we were considered to be like the guys who have it.
Mdosis.
My dad was a banker.
Oh, nice.
I really enjoyed seeing him dressed in nice suits, nice shirts, ties,
So he was already in the financial sector, your dad?
Already in the financial sector.
Okay.
And maybe that probably planted a seed in me in the financial sector. So he was a real role model, and he's huge. My dad has a huge figure. well built, not like me.
Unaenda gym.
So I remember those days, you know, when I would mess up in the house and my mom would tell me, si utauliwa. One slap from my dad, you know, is a killer. So I mean, life was really good.
Tell me a
really,
little.
really good until 1988.
Okay, before we'll get 1988.
Yes.
Sitie, the pace sometimes can be a bit
Pole.
slow. Nisa. I'm understanding your family unit structure. You being the firstborn, I can already see your dad. In fact, you know, when you told me your dad was a gentleman. It's the way you talk. Pius, even in the fire, still speaks at this pace, which is rare. I think. Tell me a little bit about also the environment in Ngara, growing up in Ngara.
Oh yeah. Crazy. Crazy. I grew up in a season, in a period when there was a breakout of AIDS. You remember AIDS when it started?
Yes.
I can still see the letters AIDS.
In red.
Yes, red. I mean, as in that thing took people. You know, it was like now. It was worse than COVID, I think.
Yes.
So all around us, bars, just type, you know, emerging, mushrooming, pubs, and we just started seeing, you know, a lot of guys who are having fun there. Then shortly, you'd hear, oh, that one got infected with HIV. Then it develops, it's a full-blown AIDS. I mean, it was a very harsh environment. Very, very harsh environment. And this had a big impact on me. Yeah,
the fact that you can even mention it.
Big impact on me. One of the things I said, and my mom was very much working with me and advising me and telling me things about life and what I should expect in the future. And she kept saying, you know what, there are 3 things you need to avoid in life. One is usikue mtu wa raha. Usikue mtu wa raha. You know, it can mean many things. But it just meant don't be a guy who pursues pleasures too much. Number 2, she spoke about women. And number 3, alcohol. Don't pursue alcohol. Don't drink. Don't be a guy who is too fun-loving. And the third one,
was women.
And women.
Yes.
Be careful about women. So I made some certain vows as a child that I'd never realized how they would be so important in my life or they would manifest in my life.
And this is when you are
pretty young.
Yeah, 6 to 10.
Under 10.
Yes.
Under 10. Number 1, I was like, you know what? The girl I'll marry, the girlfriend I'll have is my wife only. That one I was not able to keep. I had my surprises at puberty. Under 10 you can say some things, but once you hit puberty, adolescence was a surprise for me. I never saw it coming. I would never drink. I tasted beer during adolescence, but I really wondered why people take beer. And until today, I'm a teetotaler. Beer has never been, or alcohol has never been one of my struggles. It's never been one of my vices. Never been.
I can't tempt you with alcohol.
No way.
There's zero desire.
You can pour the most expensive alcohol, I'll feel nothing. You tell me it was done 1908. Yes. It's okay. You just pour it. It means nothing to me. Yeah, but also in terms of relationships, even when I got to puberty and I got a girlfriend, I was very clear it's one girlfriend at the time, you know. So I was certain things were very, very clear. My foundations were already being set.
Yes.
Because of the environment I was growing in and because of the advice that I was getting from my mom. And this again, you can see it kind of touches on the power of the mother, even upon their sons.
Yes.
Yeah, because they tend to be the people we are with mostly at home. And therefore, most of the words that we'll remember from that young age, it's from them.
Whoa,
But our fathers remain heroes.
Yes.
They leave in the morning, they come in the evening.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I remember gazeti na nyama. Yeah, but
that's powerful.
That has been very helpful even today.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about then your first school. I don't know if you can remember kindergarten, but if not,
I started from Aria, an Asian school. I think it was probably just me and my friend. She's called Agnes Kadenja. She's in USA. I'm sure she'll see that.
From kindergarten.
Yeah. So we joined the same school. 100% Indian. And in the morning, you know, we would pray in Hindu. Then we would, there would be a guy seated at the center. Even today, I still cross my legs like this. I know some smoke going up in the middle. And then after that, we are done, you know, they distribute some Indian chocolates, Indian cakes. Until today, even my wife was really wondering, with my sweet tooth, I see those Indian sweets, I go for them. So we learned to pray in Hindu.
Yes.
So here is the willing servant of God praying in Hindu.
Yes.
We stayed there shortly, maybe just a year. Then we moved on. I moved to Riverbank Primary School, just across the road.
Yeah.
All my life, I was not, getting into a car to go to school. It was walking distance.
Yes.
Walking distance.
All your life?
As in until university.
What?
Until university.
Okay.
The first time I got into a car to go to school was university.
What? That's interesting.
Yeah. So we went to...
How was Riverbank Primary School?
Riverbank, again, was really good.
Were you good at maths?
Initially, no.
Uh-huh.
Initially, no. And it took my dad to lose his job. Then he had now a lot of time in his hands and he started teaching me mathematics. And the only people now who could compete with me were Asians. After that,
yeah.
I was always top 5 in mathematics from that point henceforth.
Okay, so was Riverbank sounds like it was a mixed school. It wasn't just Africans there were Indians.
There were Indians, it was...
Yes, because Ngara is an area. Yes.
Ngara is an Asian,
yes.
Was an Asian,
yes, actually
Asian
right.
place. So we had a lot of Asians. A lot of my friends we grew up were Asians. We had a lot of Christians too. Remember Shan Cinema, also is in Ngara. That was the origin of Pentecostal church in Kenya.
Okay.
That also had a lot of influence in my life because I come from a Catholic background, and we would go to church in the morning, Holy Family Basilica. In the afternoon, I go to Sunday school in Shan Cinema. And somehow I think that's how I started going Pentecostal without knowing. Realizing. Yeah.
Okay, so more about school. Tell me a little bit now about. Were you an A student? Were you? Tell me about the environment. Were you beginning? Tell me about making friends in school.
That's very interesting because I still remember my first report form. I was number 29 out of 31.
Whoa!
And being the firstborn, nobody else had told me. I never used to study at home. There was no one to teach me how to study at home. My mom was really busy.
Dad was
coming late from work. So I remember coming back home with my report form and I was showing it to everybody. I'm 29 out of 31. I got one of the highest. Then everybody would laugh at me and I'm like, why are these guys laughing? They're not getting it. Yes. Only later on I realized, you know what, it was the other way around. That was
you were the first from the back.
I was the third from the back.
Yes.
I was the third from the back. But I thought I was the third from the first.
Yeah. But did you enjoy school?
I really enjoyed school.
What was it about? You called it Riverbank?
Riverbank.
Yes. What is it about that school that you enjoyed?
I think it's just it had a mixture. You know, we had people coming from very wealthy families. We had people coming from very poor backgrounds. There was just, it was not about a social class, a particular social class. We had people from all backgrounds. We had, you know, I grew up in a metropolitan place. Environment. Most of my friends, this thing of tribal thing, I only got to realize them after, we are doing an election. Oh, there's Kikuyus and there's... But growing up, my friends were Asians, Luos, you know. We didn't have that tribal thing. It was not in us.
Okay.
It was not in us. So Riverbank was like that. A very good mix of everyone that you would find in a society.
Is there memories from this time that you'd like to share? I want to transition to high school, but I don't want to transition without your permission, in case maybe there's a memory that or something you want to share from this era.
I think that was the first time when I was in standard 7. That's when I remember realizing I had hit puberty.
You are about to eat the forbidden fruit.
And I remember this lady who we were in the same class. We meet outside and she stops me and I'm looking at her and I was seeing it's not the same lady that I always used to know. I felt very strange feelings in my body. And I was like, God, what is going on?
What's happening?
What's happening? We had a deal. We had a deal, but 3 rules. That is something that I remember. And of course, that was really, towards the end, I'd really caught up on studying.
Okay.
I had really now gotten to understand what it means to be an A student.
Oh, so you had improved from back?
From back. Now, and because, again, this is the interesting thing, I learned by observing. I didn't have an elder brother to teach me. And my mom was busy and my dad was rarely at home in the evenings. So I learned by seeing, this guy is studying this book, and I would just go home and ask my dad, please buy me this book. My dad was very good in buying books. He would buy for me the book. I would come with the book to school. The guy would open page one, I would open page 1. He opens page 2, I open page 2. It was so serious that he would become number 15, I'd become number 16.
Whoa.
Yes. Until the teacher thought I was copying. So we had to be separated. Then from there I started thinking, hey, what is this number 1 guy doing? So I started hanging out with the number 1 guys, the number 2s. And they're like, these are the books we're reading. I would go home and tell my dad, buy me these books. And I would buy the books. And I would read the same books that they're reading. I learned by copying.
You get that's crazy. You're peer mentors in a sense.
Yeah.
You were observing what you're...
I would observe.
You know, I fully understand what you're saying because I also am a firstborn, so I don't understand the aspect of having the aspect of having an older person show you the path. But I've never thought about it until the words are leaving your mouth now.
Yeah. It's so critical to have someone to show you the way, and that happens if you have an elder sibling or you have a parent who is thinking academically involved.
Yes, intentionally.
My mom was more involved, was more worried about, providing us with the love and care, food, sleep well, but she will not tell you, please read this book, please read that book, that was not her forte. Dad was the academics guy, but he was not home. But when he comes home, he'd be like, why are you guys not reading? In fact, when you hear the car, everybody would sit down holding the book, even though you are not really reading, It was all about pretense. I really didn't know what it means to read. In fact, I remember at some point during my early years, we are doing exams. And, do you remember it was sentence dash, then you feel the dash. And I'm like, where are people getting this stuff from? Where are people writing from? and I would just check, and then so I started just observing, and I didn't know that was going to be a very important skill in my life. I've learned even today I'm a very observant person. I can easily pick the best person in the room, and I can observe, and I can perceive why they are best, and I can follow through. That sort of thing.
So did hanging out to the A students and number 1 students move you up?
Absolutely. There was a time I was just in the teens, number 14 to 16, never breaking into top 10.
Yes.
The moment I started hanging out with the number 1s, they're like, okay, these are the books. I would read the books, the same books, and I enjoyed reading. And I had a photographic memory because I never read any book twice. So for me, there was no revision. Once you read, it is in, and that's it.
You're good.
I'm good.
So you're learning. This is powerful to say, because your learning wasn't from an exam cramming perspective. No. Was it then from a understanding perspective of the book, or you just lucky, blessed to have a photographic memory?
I just believe that once you read, it is in.
No exit, iko ndani.
And in fact, the first time I ever realized that people forget, and I realized I actually do forget, I thought it was an anomaly. I was I couldn't share it with anyone. Like, you mean I can forget?
That's awful.
I'm not supposed to forget anything. Once it's in, it's supposed to be in. So for me, the concept of revision, I learned it in high school, not in primary.
Oh, I get.
You get?
That's powerful. Okay.
So yeah.
So did you do well? Like, of course, it was KCP at the time.
Yeah.
And what year is this that we're talking? Like when now you're doing the KCP?
So I did my KCP 91.
Oh, okay.
91.
And
I did my KCP 91. Yes, 91. I got 500 marks.
Oh, I mean, that's excellent. Out of
it was
700.
just there. I mean,
it's an average of 70 for 90.
And it was, when I look back, I'm like, I could have done much better because I never revised.
Yeah.
You know,
just wondering,
I read books once.
Yeah.
You know. So, and those are the things that over time you keep learning. So for me, it was that from the first report form, I could see the continuous improvement, which is an aspect of my life even today. I'm a guy who, if I did a financial model yesterday, and I'm doing another one this month, I will never do it the same way. I always believe it needs to be different. It needs to be something better
and improved from from the previous version. Okay, let me ask before we transition into high school. It's always important because some people have learned get this epiphany early in life. Did you have an idea what it is that you wanted to be in this primary, or at this time you haven't yet decided?
Yeah. So now 1988 happened when I was still in primary, and that was a big turning point in my life and in our lives, because my dad lost his job.